What's up, everyone? Welcome to my channel, Simply Michelle, with yours truly, Michelle. If this is your first time stopping by, thank you so much. I hope that you would decide to stay and subscribe and become a part of the tribe. And if you are returning, thank you so much for the support. If you have not subscribed, I hope that you will do so as well before the closing of this video. All right, y'all, let's hop right into it. Oh my goodness. So, Funky Dineva and Tamar. All right. So, I was not going to make a video about this, but since we talk about the lessons here, and we talk about the lessons between these relationship dynamics, I said, Michelle, go ahead and just make a video about it so we can discuss the lesson behind this, because this was a friendship that had the potential to go further, but it went south. It went south and it went sour. Um, yeah, so Tamar and Dineva were really close. They were hanging out frequently. Um, Tamar had even, invited Dineva to a few of her family functions. Um, which, Dineva mentioned, previously in, older videos during the time frame where he and Tamar were still getting along. And then this situation happened with Tamar where they hung out and they went, to a restaurant or to a lounge or whatever, hung out. And then Tamar takes to social media and, mentions her teeth being knocked out. And then Dineva gets on his channel and he's like, I don't know what happened to that lady. Um,
I want y'all to name a world, name a universe, name a planet where people start accusing you of doing something nefarious to somebody and you just sit back and you don't say anything. I want y'all to name a world where people accuse you of drugging somebody, doing something wrong to them. That faggot ain't nobody friend. That sissy punk ain't never been nobody friend. He hate black women. I know he did. Let's clear up something very quickly at the top of this video. There seems to be this misconception that I ran to the internet, told what happened to this girl, and then all of this other stuff happened. And that is not the case. That is not how it happened. Okay. For the record, so many of y'all out there are so committed to disliking me and only wanting to view me through the lens of being some messy punk that you can't see the forest for the goddamn trees. Tamar Braxton took to her social media first and wrote she almost died in a pool of blood and fell out and all of this different stuff. I found that out at the same time y'all found that out. Okay? It wasn't until I get ready to log on my show and I'm looking on the internet and everybody, oh, that junkie was with her last night. I know he did something. That's why you got to watch the friends you keep. He did. Somebody up there knows. At first, it was cute. It was just a few little comments. Big deal. I've weathered far worse storms. Then all of a sudden, it started growing legs. When I logged on to do my show, there was 7,000 people sitting in the hallway waiting. The entire chat said, Tamar, Tamar, tell us what happened to Tamar. Tell us what you did to Tamar. Tamar, you know what we want to talk about. He want to talk about everything except Tamar. I wanted to avoid everything with Tamar because y'all kept hounding me. Tamar, Tamar, Tamar. My response was, I don't know what happened to the lady. All I know is the lady called me and asked me for Dr. Heavenly phone number because she said 14 was missing. I don't know what happened to the lady. At the point in which I said, I don't know what happened to the lady, Tamar had already told far worse that she had woke up and almost was in a pool of blood and all of this type of stuff. So y'all got it twisted. All right. I So that was that. I'm thinking I'm clearing it up. All right. Now listen. Maybe there's a world where I shouldn't have even said that. But there damn sure was not finna be a world where I was finna let the internet start crafting this narrative that I did something to this damn girl. Okay. So I'm in Miami, Tootsie rolling and having a good time. All of a sudden, stories start dropping. Funky Dineva tried to unalive Tamar. I send this to her. I send it to her. And I write, girl, this thing is starting to grow legs. And she writes back, I'm lost. I'm confused. I didn't say anything. I'm in the hospital. Now, what I could do with that?
And so a lot of people were speculating that, Dineva had something to do with the situation between him and Tamar. And so they kind of went back and forth on this banter here, in regards to this situation. So, recently, Dineva spoke on the situation with Tamar again. He said that Tamar um was like poking. He felt like Tamar was poking, especially with the interview that was done with L'Oreal. One of the people that was in her mini movie for her new EP, Heartbreak Retrograde. Um, so he felt like she was, throwing shade by saying things in a certain way. Um, I have to say I agree she was. Um, because Tamar has done that before where she will make a comment about someone but not directly make the comment about someone, but she's talking about that person in particular. So I can see why Dineva was upset, but at the same time, I feel like you got to learn how to choose your battles. I don't really feel like that was anything for him to make a comment on. I do understand that he wanted to call her out on her lie because she claimed in the interview with L'Oreal that she was celebrating a friend's birthday, and she implied that she threw the birthday party, which Dineva in turn said, no, you did not throw me a birthday party. um, and I believe Dineva. Um, but Dineva also, blasted her for creeping around with Mendices behind Yandy's back. And he spoke about how the situation, made him just feel, really uncomfortable.
About how I'm going to respond to Tamar, okay? But Tamar recently did an interview with uh, L'Oreal, and I don't know. She just did something I didn't like. Take a look.
Are you aware of what really happened to you?
No, I'm not.
Or can you talk about
I can talk
happened?
about it, but I'm not aware of what really happened to me.
Yeah.
All I know is that I went to a friend's birthday party. I gave a friend a birthday party. Hello.
You thought was your friend.
Well, we ain't even gonna touch on that.
Yeah.
I came home like I would normally do. Well, you kind of know the spiel. I come home, I'll take a shower, I'll wash my face, I'll come back in the kitchen. We'll have, have more.
Okay, so the rest of the interview is irrelevant. Tamar, I'm gonna speak to you directly. I never wanted what transpired between me and you to transpire. I didn't. In this moment, it's still not something that I'm very proud of. And I honestly wish that I could go back a couple months and we could be in the place that we were before this happened. But what I can't tolerate is the sly shade, the sly messiness, and this thing that you do. You do just enough. You do just enough that when somebody calls you on it, then you can dip your hands back and be like, I didn't do nothing. What? I didn't do nothing. I didn't say the person's name. Okay, you started out with.
Are you aware of what really happened to you?
No, I'm not.
Or can you
I
talk
went
about
to
what
I can talk
happened?
about it, but
Party.
I'm not aware of what really happened to me.
Yeah.
All I know is that I went to a friend's birthday party. I gave a friend a birthday party.
Okay. I don't like that. I don't like that at all because I'm telling you to your damn face, you was a bold-faced, bald-headed, goddamn liar. Okay? That night was never about me. You and Zoe and all the rest of them, y'all was looking for something to eat. Y'all called me and was asking me what was there to eat up in my direction. I said everything up my way closed. I was like, we could always go to Roof Chris. Y'all said, fuck it, meet me at Roof Chris. I met y'all at Roof Chris. You and Zoe. In comes walking Mendices and his homeboy. Okay. Now, this is the third time that me and you have been hanging out, and out of nowhere, here comes Mendices. Okay. Now you can make of that whatever the hell you want to make of it. Okay. I was tired. I wanted to go home. Y'all said we going over here to Sauce in Buckhead. Meet us at Sauce. I said, y'all, I really don't want to go. I drive my car over to Sauce. By the time I get to Sauce, Zoe calls and says, Tamar said, just leave your car at her house and we gonna go to V12. I didn't even want to go. You didn't throw me no party, love. Why are you doing this? Why is it so important for you to create this narrative like you were doing something for a friend and a friend did you so wrong? Okay? So now you and Mendices sneaking and dealing around. Mendices was behind us at the V12, okay? He just didn't want to walk in, or they had arranged it because he didn't want to be caught up all in the mix. If you were throwing Quentin a party, Tamar, the sign would have said Quentin. The sign would have said Funky Dineva on it. Okay? Now, in fairness, it was my birthday week, and maybe in your mind, you were saying, let's go out and continue to hang for your birthday, or it's your birthday, let's hang. But to create this narrative that you went to throw a birthday party for a friend and this friend did you so wrong, that's not right, Tamar, and it's not fair to me, and my feelings are hurt behind it.
Um, but the whole situation is just really unfortunate. Tamar got her lawyer to release a statement, um, in regards to, Dineva, saying things about her. And Dineva pretty much responded back to that statement. He really doesn't care that, Tamar got his lawyer to write a letter. Um, the whole situation is just really drama filled. It's very unfortunate that two grown adult people would start off, you know, with the possibility of building a good friendship, and now it's just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's a really sad situation. And I know we have some people that are on Dineva's side, and we have some people that are on Tamar's side. I'm neutral. I'm neutral. Although I will say that the way Tamar went about things was immature. I would say the way that Tamar went about things is immature. Tamar does have a reputation for being attention seeking. She does. She does. She has a reputation for being attention seeking. Very dramatic, very over the top. Um, she also has a reputation for being problematic. And then Dineva has a reputation for being messy, you know, in his own way. He can be messy, he can be petty. So, that mashup was just I guess it was bound to explode at some point in time with those two personalities, because you have two big personalities where both people are, where both people think a lot of themselves. They think very highly of themselves, and nothing is wrong with that. But you know how it is when people have their grandiose, you know, nothing is wrong with thinking highly of yourself. Nothing is wrong with the confidence, but sometimes, it can be borderline narcissistic, okay? But when you got two big personalities like that, watch out. Watch out. Um it would have been nice if the situation could have been handled better, honestly. With Tamar running to social media talking about how her teeth got knocked out. And, it does leave you to wonder, like, someone who got their teeth knocked out their mouth. I'm telling you, social media, honestly, and so many people have said this, but I'm just speaking from my opinion. I would not have ran to social media and told anybody that my teeth got knocked out. I'm sorry. First of all, that's one of those situations where you go ahead and you get the necessary help that you need. If you need any work done, you go ahead and get that work done. That's something that you handle discreetly, and you hope that no one finds out about that, so you can keep moving forward with your life. Um, but if you're the type of person who thrives off of attention, then you're gonna post it, and that's just it. Um, but the the thing though is, when Tamar made the post about her teeth being knocked out, she did not mention any names. She didn't. But I at the same time, even though she did not mention any names, I definitely understand Dineva's stance in the situation. No, she did not mention any people, but okay, if you follow Tamar's social media, if you follow Dineva social media, and if you follow his channel, it was made clear that they were hanging out, and they were going out that night. Pictures and video footage was also on their social media pages. So that's why Dineva felt like he had to, jump on and defend himself. And plus, people were asking about what happened to Tamar, because let me tell you something. I was in attendance when he was going live. When Dineva went live that night, people were in the chat asking about Tamar. They were. Daneva's show hadn't even started yet. People was in the chat already asking what happened to Tamar. Some people was like, "What you do now, Q? What you do now? Lord, what that happened to Tamar? What did Tamar get into?" I remember seeing that thread, waiting for Daneva to start his show, and folks was just lighting the chat up. I also remember just a brief post on my timeline with Tamar writing her message on social media about, how she got her teeth knocked out or whatever like that. But to be honest with you, I didn't even pay no attention. But that particular evening when Dineva was getting ready to start his show, and we waiting for him to come on live, and the comments just lit up, the live stream just lit up. He hadn't came on yet, and I'm seeing so many people asking about Tamar. And so it is understandable that he got on his platform and started talking about Tamar, and just started talking about the situation. Because when he called Tamar that lady, um my initial thought process of him calling her that lady was him disassociating himself with whatever went down the night her teeth got knocked out of her mouth. That's how I looked at it instantaneously. And I remember stating that in the chat. Some people were saying, "That's what he calls his friends. He calls his friend." I'm like, if you've been watching Dineva for a long time, Dineva calls his friends by their names. He do not call his friends that lady, that man. The only time he do that is when he got a problem with them. Okay. And I am someone who watched Dineva quite often. I don't watch Dineva like that anymore. Once in a blue moon, if I catch Dineva live, I'll watch him. But uh as of late, I haven't really watched him like that. Um, but Dineva, he was calling her that lady to disassociate himself from the situation that took place, with Tamar, because he was basically saying in so many words, I don't know what happened to her, but I ain't got nothing to do with it. My name is Bennett and I ain't in it. And some people were like, "That's what he called his friends. He called his friend." I'm like, as long as I watched Dineva for a long time, he would call all of his friends by their names, you know. But this whole situation, I want y'all opinions on this. What is the lesson learned here in regards to this friendship? I also feel like Dineva was used as a scapegoat by Tamar. You know how you need someone in the mix, especially if you're doing something that you don't have no business doing. You know how you need somebody in the mix as an alibi, as a cover up. So Dineva says that, Mendices, would meet up, they would be going out or whatever. And here Mendices would come on the scene a few minutes later, a few minutes after. And, Dineva was talking about how it was very uncomfortable with them, just doing things with each other, like kissing and touching and stuff like that. And I get it. I would be uncomfortable too, because that's just so awkward. Okay. To be even put in that situation. I don't think it's because she wanted Dineva to run and tell. I honestly feel like Dineva was placed as a scapegoat. Dineva was there as an alibi. So when Tamar decided to um all of a sudden not really know Mendices that well, and he was just an actor in her video. You know, some people are just scapegoats. Some people are just scapegoats. I don't think she invited Dineva for the sole purpose of wanting him to run back and tell. I don't. And if Yandy has responded, somebody let me know. I may have to look and see. I might do a little bit of research and see if Yandy has responded or anything, because it seems like Yandy and Mendice's relationship is not really all there. It don't seem like Yandy and Mendice's are on good terms. Um, because I have yet to really see anyone report anything, like no major entertainment outlets like the Shade Room and the Jasmine brand and Neighborhood Talks and all them. I have not really, and Boss Up and the other, you know, um people and stuff, Kim Pyre, stuff like that. I have not seen, unless I done fell behind a little bit, but I have not seen anyone say Yandy's thoughts and feelings on this. It seemed like Yandy and Mendices might not even be on good terms. It seemed like to me, honestly. Um, just got to keep it real. Um, it don't seem like they on good terms to me. It almost kind of come off as like I don't think Yandy cares. Or maybe she's just choosing not to go public and voice how she really feels. But I might have to peek around and see if there's an actual like real response from her in regards to Tamar dealing with Mendices. But still, y'all drop down in the comments and tell me what y'all think about this. If you are new to this channel, what we do is dissect, relationships. Friendships, we dissect certain situations, and it's basically we talk about the lesson here. What is the lesson here? What is the lesson behind this, or what is the takeaway from this situation? This was supposed to be a friendship between Tamar and Dineva, and it just went kaput. It just went kaput with so much drama and so much mess, and in the middle of it. And yeah, what y'all think? What do y'all think about this mess that's going on? Um, Dineva did say, he told Tamar to stop messing with him. And even though Tamar, I mean, it's obvious that Tamar was talking about Dineva, although she did not say Dineva's name. Okay, but honestly, if I was Dineva, I would not. I don't know. Like I said, I understand why he responded to that, because he wanted to call her out on her lie. Like, you did not throw me a birthday party. But sometimes we got to pick and choose our battles, and it's almost kind of like any little thing she do or say is like you're gonna say, oh, she's directing it towards you, she's picking with you, she's talking to you, even though she's not mentioning your name per se. Ooh, child, so messy. The little mind games and stuff that people like to play with each other, and you know, I'm talking about you, but I'm not gonna say your name, and I'm gonna trigger you because I'm talking about you, but and I'm talking about you, but I'm not gonna say your name, and you gonna take and you gonna respond to every little thing that I say and do, and we just gonna go back and forth and do this tit for tat, tit for tat, tit for tat. Oh my gosh, child, Lord have mercy. What is the lesson behind this friendship that is no longer a thing with Tamar and Dineva, y'all? What's the lesson behind this? And I'm not even gonna lie, it actually shocked me when Tamar and Dineva started getting like real close and buddy buddy. Anyway, because Dineva had expressed that he didn't really care for Tamar. And this was before they started getting extra tight and started hanging out with each other. He ain't drag her or nothing, but it was a few episodes back where he was saying, that he was basically implying that he didn't really care for Tamar like that. And then next thing you know, him and Tamar hanging out with each other and they all tight and buddy buddy and stuff. And then boom, this drama taking happen. So ooh, child. Mm-mm-mm. A lot of people are saying that they hope that it's like a PR stunt. I hope it's a PR stunt too, but this is just messy. If it's a PR stunt, it's very messy, very messy. That's the same thing I said about the Summer Walker situation. I was hoping that her situation with Rich the Kid and Lloyd Briggs was a PR stunt because I'm like, ooh, child. And even if it was a PR stunt, like, why would you want to have all of that going on? Because um, it take away from the work that you put into your music. It take away from your project. Like it take away from your creative. It just takes away from that from you as an artist. So yeah, but y'all, that's it, y'all. I just wanted to come up here and briefly touch on that situation and ask y'all, what is the lesson here, y'all? What is the lesson? What is the lesson behind this? What were the red flags? Um Boundaries was crossed. Um what was the red flag, y'all? Boundaries was crossed. The communication between both people was not good. Somebody could have possibly had ulterior motives. um what's the lesson here, y'all? What is the takeaway from this? All right, well, that's all I have for today, y'all. If you have not subscribed, please make sure you give this video a thumbs up and that you subscribe to my channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Okay, that's how you show your support. By just giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Show your support. And all right, y'all. Until next time, I will talk to you all later. Everyone, stay safe, be blessed.